All right. Second. Alrighty. Please bear with me, guys. I'm trying to gain access to all my platforms. Okay, let me just. Here we go. All right. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. Hi, guys on TikTok, guys on Facebook, guys on YouTube. Welcome to Narc Survival 101. Bear with me, please, because my thingy that holds the phone on the tripod, the ring light thing, it broke, and I'm trying to I look so huge. I mean, well, I'm fat, but not that fat. Okay. So, guys, welcome to Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica here. I know I haven't been around in a while. I apologize for that. I was getting over the flu. I was badly sick. I couldn't even get out of bed. That's how bad it was. And I, decided to let me not skip any more lives. Let me be here like I said I would. And everything had just gone haywire for me. I don't know if you can still hear it in my voice. I'm still kind of like a bit nasally, so please bear with me. I am going to be popping a few of these because my throat has been kind of scratchy lately, so I don't want to be annoying by coughing and annoying anybody with it. But welcome, guys. Welcome. I did see someone ask me how school was going. School is going great, guys. I start school next week, starting January 10th. And I wanted to actually give you guys a bit of an update. Because I'm full-time, my school schedule, I have school classes 5 days out of the week. I have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Yeah, that's a lot. So what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to end up having to group the lives between the platforms on Fridays. Okay. That way, TikTok, you guys know you're my peoples. You get to have a live on Fridays with Facebook and YouTube. The whole community gets to be together. Different platforms, but we're all still together. But school is going great. I'm getting ready for the semester, and it's going to be a lot, but I am looking forward to it. So please wish me luck, and just keep praying for me, guys. Please keep praying for me. Yvonne, thank you, sweetheart. I'm definitely gonna consider that because it's just been so scratchy. And guys, listen, we live in the time now after COVID. You can't even cough without someone thinking that you're a human plague. I'm on the bus, I'm in my Ubers, and I'm coughing, and I'm letting them know, listen, it's just a scratchy throat, and it just like that tickle right there, that tickle in the corner, and it doesn't want to stop. So I've been, trying to, I drink hot liquids, trying to hard candies, whatever I can. But it's like people look at you like, oh God, you're coughing. Get away from me. Which is fine by me because to be quite honest, I don't want people around me anyway. So it's like, yeah, it works both ways. Jay, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Guys, I want to make sure I don't forget anyone because I have my YouTube, I have my TikTok, I have my Facebook. Hi, Sky. How are you, sweetheart? Okay. All right, guys. So, how are you guys? Happy Friday. I hope your week has been going well. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. A little bit of, well, it's not a big deal, but I just turned 40 yesterday and I feel like I'm 65. So, yeah. But yesterday was my birthday and I've embraced it. I was welcoming the day that it came and I'm, just thanking God for another day. thanking him for another day and thanking him for just, giving me amazing people. You guys are truly awesome. Thank you so much. Laura, it's the same, Narc Survival 101. Okay. It's the you can catch it on the website, guys. All the information is on my website, narcsurvival101.com. If you are interested in joining, please sign up for the website. You can, you'll be updated with blogs, you'll be updated with scheduling events and things to that effect, lives, anything that needs to be, if you need to be updated on things. And it basically being a part of the website, because I created this website for survivors, for victims of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, any kind of, mental health awareness, relational abuse. I created it for, for people to have that safe haven. You can message me on there as well. I try to get back to everyone as soon as I can. And of course, you guys already know, if you need to email me, you can email me at narcsurvival101@gmail.com. You can always, reach me either way. Okay, Inde, why don't you give me a little something on what's going on? I want to help people heal as much as they possibly can. I want people to understand, please understand, that I know that a lot of people out there, try to invalidate and negate the experiences that you have gone through. And, people are talking about, oh, now everybody knows about narcissism. Now everybody is a narcissist. And it's not a new thing. In fact, everyone, okay, everyone is capable of being narcissistic. And I want people to understand that. Some people are worse than others. Okay. And we have to, I have to reiterate this because I know a lot of people want a clear understanding, and you'll have people out there who don't know what you've gone through, and they'll sit there and say, oh, now, this has become a trend. It's not a trend. Domestic violence is not a trend. Okay. Toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. It's not a trend. It's been around. It's been around for God knows how long, but it's just now it's being exposed more. So because we are opening up those, we're using our voices, we're creating these platforms to open it up more, to give you more signs, to help you to discern, because that's the key thing. It's not a trend. It's simply something that has been going on for the longest. And just because, let me make this very clear to you, okay? Just because someone is not diagnosed as a narcissist or hasn't, is refusing to be diagnosed, or whatever the case may be. A person does not need to be a narcissist for you to endure narcissistic abuse. Okay? Let's get that perfectly clear. Let's understand that. Don't worry so much on the label. Worry about the behaviors. Worry about the patterns. Worry about the situations that happen. That's what I want you to focus on. Okay? Whether or not that person is a narcissist, it does not matter. Okay, you have plenty of people walking the face of this earth who do not have driver's licenses, but they know how to drive, right? And they drive anyway. So it doesn't matter if the person is an actual narcissist. The platforms are created to give you general information with regards to people who have NPD, with regards to people who have narcissistic traits, and under the umbrella of a manipulator, because that's what a narcissist is. They're labeled as a manipulator. Okay. And understand another thing. A narcissist is just simply a noun. It's just, it is what it is. Narcissistic is derivative of that noun. That's the adjective of narcissist, narcissism. Okay. Plenty of people in this world are narcissistic. Okay. We have narcissistic moments. All of us. We can all have those moments. And at the end of the day, what you went through, I am not here to invalidate you. I'm not here to tell you what you have gone through, nor am I here to diagnose. I'm here to answer your questions. And if you need help with anything, I will do my best to help you through it. Okay? Yes. Laura says it, right? Yes. And learn when to recognize it. And we don't have to accept people's abuse. You don't. You don't have to accept any of their abuse. You don't have to accept anyone's disrespect. You don't have to accept anyone's survival defense mechanisms. You don't have to accept any of those things. And you don't have to put up with people who decide that my needs come before yours. There are two types of people in this world. Givers and takers, okay? Givers and takers, right? They're either going to be a giver or they're going to be a taker. And at the end of the day, whatever person you are, if you are a giver, you have to learn how to minimize giving. You have to learn how to put boundaries and restrict, because people will take advantage. People will take advantage of that. I've been going through a custody battle since 2017, and I hear I have a joint custody of my daughter. Her family will not change the order, neither will the courts. They're using the battle of attrition, right? Not try to alienate me from my friends. Well, Mark, you say that you're hearing that you have joint custody of your daughter, and they won't change the order. So, I mean, what exactly is it that because joint custody is shared custody. So, what exactly is it that you want to see transpire from this? My brother still to this day is abusive to me. I've blocked him and other family members. Guys, family, listen, I can't stress this enough. I know people want to, feel as if family is everything. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be very blatantly honest with you. Family can be ain't shit people. Okay? And that's the God's honest truth. You can try and try and try. You can pull the loyalty card. You can say you're my family and you're supposed to be loyal to me. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting this way or whatever? But like I said, in this world, you have givers and you have takers. And if you have family members that do nothing but take and do nothing but take advantage of you and abuse, and by abuse, guys, abuse doesn't have to be physical. Does not have to be physical abuse. They can abuse you emotionally. They can abuse you psychologically, financially, okay, spiritually, energetically. People tend to think that the word abuse means, oh, well, they're putting their hands on the person, or no. Verbal abuse is abuse. Emotional abuse is abuse. It's abuse of power. It's abuse of authority. We all know we got a lot of that going on, right? Abuse is abuse. So regardless of what you have gone through, if you have someone that says, well, how could you say I abused you and I never put my hands on you? Oh, you may not have put your hands on me, but you verbally abused me. You tore down my self-esteem. You made me feel inadequate. You made me feel as if I was never going to be good enough. And on top of that, with doing all of this, you tried to make me compete for you. That is manipulation. That's manipulation. When they come home or if they come in your presence and they're trying to make you feel some kind of way about yourself, because let's be honest, people who try to tear you down are simply trying to bring you to their level. They're trying to bring you to where they are. So in order to get you to where they are, of course, they have to tell you things that you don't want to hear. They have to tell you things that make you feel inadequate. And of course, essentially will prompt you to do more, do better, work harder. No, okay. In this, with Erica, we work smarter. We don't work harder. And if we're going to work harder, we're going to work harder for ourselves. And it may sound selfish to anybody else standing on the outside. They may say, oh, well, that's a pretty selfish move. Well, guess what? I've been giving and giving and giving and giving. It's time that I give to myself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to give to you or love you the way you would love yourself or give to yourself. And you do things for these people, narcissistic people, manipulative, liars, cheaters, thieves, whatever. You do these things for these people in hopes that they will reciprocate that. And that's pretty much attaching expectation. You're expecting them to reciprocate what you give. So when they don't do that, and they show their true nature in these relationships, narcissistically abusive relationships, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, I have put all this effort in and they have not reciprocated this to me. I must be doing something wrong. Because let's face facts, guys. If you stayed in a relationship for 5-10 years and you were dealing with that for 5-10 years, you got to make that make sense to me. You have to make it make sense. If you did all these things and they were not reciprocating to you, the love, the affection, the attention, the respect, they were not reciprocating it to you. And maybe they were, but they were doing it when it was convenient for them. But if they weren't giving it to you on a regular basis, and they weren't providing the things that you needed, though you were giving it to them, after some time, we have to see where, okay, we got to step back and say, okay, what are we doing here? What am I doing here? But a lot of us who have stayed in relationships that are toxic, that are narcissistically abusive, instead of stepping back and saying, what am I doing here? We would say, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I not doing to gain this person's affection, attention? What am I not doing to get this back? And it's simply because you're dealing with the taker. You're not dealing with the giver. You're dealing with someone who's out for themselves. And listen, as far as the DSM-5 is concerned, narcissistic personality disorder is considered a mental illness. Yes, it's considered a mental illness. So, antisocial personality disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, okay, OCD, schizotypal. You have so many different personality disorders that are classified, that are labeled as a form of mental illness. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Just because someone has a mental illness does not mean that they are unaware of what they are doing. Now, with the exception of schizophrenia, and that's, of course, that has to be diagnosed by a professional. You're not going to tell me that I didn't know what I was doing. I was not aware that I was hurting you or I was manipulating you. And listen, if you tell me that you're at point A, but you're really at point B, doesn't matter how big or how small the lie was, a lie is still a lie. Therefore, you were manipulating. Don't let them come at you on some, I wasn't aware. I didn't know. You knew damn well. You do damn well. And if you want to compare them to children know right from wrong. My son's autistic, but he still knows right from wrong. He knows. And he knows. And if he didn't know, he knows based on my reaction. He knows based on my reaction. So if I respond to him in a way that tells him, no, you should not be doing that. Don't ever do that again. He knows better than to do it again. But when you respond to them, when you're crying, when you're in pain, when you're feeling inadequate, what do they respond with? You're insecure, you're clingy, I don't know what to do with you. You want to throw on these waterworks. And that's simply because they cannot handle your emotions. They can't handle your emotions. And because they can't, because they're like, with this app that these people are using, this artificial intelligence, because they don't know how to regulate your emotions, they don't know how to process them, they're going to blame you for being emotional over something that they did to you. Narcissists isolate their partner from their family and friends to continue the abuse. Yes, because they don't want, they want, first of all, their partner is not, in their mind, it's not their partner. Their partner is their property. They own you. They own you, and they own the rights to everything that you do and everywhere you go, what you wear, how you are, who you're hanging out with. They own the rights to those things. And it's interesting how, because I want you also to understand something. This is why I say we have to learn that, the differences and the similarities between a narcissist and someone who is codependent. Okay? Because someone who is codependent and a narcissist have suffered the same trauma. And a lot of their behaviors resemble one another. So there could be times that it can get confused. I also want you to understand that you have codependents who can also be narcissists or narcissistic. Okay? It doesn't limit to it. So you have to use your discernment. But with isolation is pretty much keeping you under their thumb. And by keeping you under their thumb, they're keeping you, in line. They're keeping you in check. You are my property. You belong to me. Which, if you are familiar with them being maybe explosive, volatile, being sarcastic, being rude or cruel if someone else complimented you. So like if you're walking down the street and maybe you weren't walking with them, or maybe, maybe you were just going into the store somewhere and someone says, "Hey, beautiful," or, "Hey, cutie," or whatever, they instantly get pissed off. They get pissed off. And that's simply because you are supply to them. You are their property. You are to supply them. You are supposed to pay attention to them. You are supposed to cater to them. Yes, Laura, they keep control of you. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. So now he tries to get through me. He tries to get through to me through my one aunt I'm close to. Just yesterday, he sent her. They will try when it comes to, especially if you've gone no contact. And for those, if you're new, you're not familiar with what no contact is. No contact is pretty much removing yourself from the situation completely. Removing yourself through social media, removing yourself, telephone wise. I mean, just pretty much just throwing yourself off the face of the earth so this person cannot contact you, so they cannot find you. Okay. They will use other people to reach out to you, whether it be their own family members, whether it be their friends, whether it be your family members, whether it be your friends. They will use other people to reach out to you. And oftentimes they will, and it's interesting because you gotta also put yourself in a position to say this, because if you're gonna use someone that which more than likely they'll use someone that but if they're gonna use someone they know, they have to answer to that person why it is they're trying to reach out to you. Because remember, if you've been discarded and you have been pretty much thrown aside, 9 out of 10 times, they have told people things about your relationship, partial truths, but mostly lies. They will tell people things about your situation, and it will look bad on your end. It will make you look bad. You look like the villain. So if they send someone on their end, a friend, a relative, or whoever, if they send someone on their end to try to reach out to you, that person, if they're smart, will more than likely question them. Why are you trying to reach out to this person if you state that this person did all of these things to you? And of course, they might try to come up with some kind of BS response. Oh, well, I want to give them another chance, or, there are some things we got to talk about, or whatever the case may be. But I can guarantee you it will end up being where it would be them giving you the opportunity to redeem yourself. They are not going to make themselves look bad in front of other people, which is why I say, if you go no contact, make sure that you disconnect from the people that they are associated with. Disconnect from their family members. Disconnect from their friends, especially if you're not in a place to, and by place, I mean a healing place. You're not in a place to really, ward that off. Like, you can't really fight that off. A lot of people go through a discard and they're unable to, stand their ground because they're still healing, they're still hurting. So if you know for a fact that if they send someone, chances are I'm going to fall for it. Chances are I'm going to end up running back to this person. Disconnect yourself from everyone, including their family members, even the ones that you were cool with, even the ones that you don't have a problem with, the ones that, treated you like family. And because I'm going to tell you something, they may have treated you like family when you were together, but if that person brought another person around to their family, even right after the two of you broke up, and their family are like, oh, cool, key, ha, ha, with that new person, trust and believe they had no loyalty with you. They had no loyalty. When no contact, and dad tried to use others to contact me. When no contact and dad tried to use others to contact me, they will use another party. They go through other people to try to contact you. And it's all, it could be a number of reasons. So I couldn't even sit there and say this is why they're doing it. But chances are Oftentimes, if you're dealing with someone who's extremely narcissistic, when they send someone to reach out to you, it's probably because whatever supply that they were dealing with or whomever they were dealing with, if it's not doing it for them anymore, they need to go back to something that they're familiar with or something that they're comfortable with. And especially if you have been the type of supply, and it could be in your family, it could be your relationships, it can be anybody. If you were the type of person to provide for them. It's funny, I was having this conversation with Amanda the other day, and I was explaining to her that we're going to play devil's advocate for a second. Part of me feels that the love, the nurturing, the caring, everything that you have provided in that relationship, it opens up something for them. Whereas even in that split moment when you had good moments and you had happy times, it opens up something like from their childhood, like that little child comes out of them. So the times that you were getting the really good moments, or even if it felt like so extremely genuine, I strongly believe that there are parts of them that that inner child that always wanted that nurturing and that caring does come out, but in little bits and pieces. They go right back. They resort right back to who they truly are and who their what their nature has made them to become. But when you provide that nurturing, caring, loving, affectionate, emotional connection, you are giving them something that they've lacked, and they more than likely lacked it in their childhood. Okay. I always say listen, fellas, even ladies, because you could take this. I can tell a woman who has not had a positive male role model in her life, who has not had the love and affection and the attention and that connection with her father. I can tell that person apart on both sides of the coin. I can tell whether they're narcissistic, I can tell whether they're codependent. And that's simply because a woman who has not had a positive male role model, who has not had the love that she needed from her father, is going to turn one of two ways. She's going to either become extremely cold and detached, and she's going to go out into the world projecting her feelings that she really feels about her father onto men, because she thinks that, well, my father ain't shit. He's a guy. So guess what? None of you dudes ain't shit. And she becomes extremely cold and self-serving, where she is not going to put your needs ahead. Look at a lot of today's modern women. They don't care about putting a man's needs, as a consideration, let alone put it ahead of their own. They don't care about treating a good man, like a king. They only care about getting what they can out of a man and using them and just going their own way. The emotional detachment that they are feeling is simply that. So when they go into a relationship with a guy who is caring and loving and nurturing and, giving her everything that any woman would want from that man, the mentality that could be running through her mind, you're full of shit. Why? Because my daddy was full of shit. You're going to disappoint me. Why? Because my daddy disappointed me. You're weak. Why? Because I have not had the male role model that I needed in my life. And I've gone through a few men who have either been abusive towards me or I have been abusive towards them. And at the end of the day, you're not worth my time. You men are not worth my time. That's her mentality. On the other side of that coin, you're going to have a woman who did not have a positive male role model in her life, but she still insisted on trying to love like she has never been hurt a day in her life. So she took on the caregiving role. I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to make sure that this man knows that I love them. And these are the kind of women who end up in relationships with narcissistic men, with men who are abusive, with men who are very extremely toxic. And they, if you've ever had a friend, if you've had a female friend and you've ever sat there and said, why? Why do you stay in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect you? Why do you stay in a relationship with someone who demeans you? Really sit back and think about it. If you have a female friend that to this moment, you don't even have to be a victim of abuse. You could just be joining the live to see what it's about. But if you have a female friend who is dealing with someone who puts her down, who abuses her on all levels. And you're sitting there scratching your head, wondering, why doesn't she just leave? And I don't understand. And, don't get frustrated with her. Try to understand what her past has taught her and what her past has conditioned her to be in these relationships. And at the end of the day, you can then understand, this is what you have gone through. I understand. Now I understand the whys, but you don't have to be in this. And I know a lot of you have probably told your friends that you don't have to be in these types of situations. Unfortunately, when you are dealing with someone who has such low self-esteem, such low self-confidence, and they are feeling so unworthy of love because they did not get that kind of love from the father figure that they should have had in their life, or even their own mothers, when they did not get that kind of love, they end up just being in the relationships with these people. And I'm sorry, Gia, you can catch it. It's going to stream on YouTube, just to let you know. It'll stream on YouTube. But you end up being in the relationship with these people who treat you like crap. And because they traumatically bonding you with them, it just, the moments when they make you feel good, the moments when they talk to you with love, the moments when they're giving you hugs and kisses and they're coming to you, bringing you flowers and just doing nice things for you. You hold on to those things. You hold on to those things, but you put up with the abuse because you don't feel worthy of it. Subconsciously, it's a crazy thing. Subconsciously, you don't feel worthy of it. You can walk out your door and be a beautiful woman. I mean, gorgeous. Every man would love to get with you. Okay. You can have a nice figure. You can, and it doesn't even matter what your figure is, to be honest, but you can just be the most illuminating woman to ever walk outside your door. But if you don't have self-love, if you don't have self-confidence, if you are, sitting there saying to yourself in your own head, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve any of this, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. None of it matters, because at the end of the day, you will end up continuing to put up with what you don't deserve, and you'll end up really settling. You will end up settling unless you're like you become like the very few who just flip the script and say, screw everybody. Now I'm going to use everyone, because you have women who get there. You have women who get there. Letty, this worries me so much for my kids. Father is not present. Last 5 years. I strongly recommend, and ladies, if you are single mothers and the fathers are not present and you are not, withholding your children, you're not being like a lot of these mothers, that you're not keeping the kids away from the fathers. You want more than anything for them to have a connection with their fathers. If the fathers are not present in their life, I would strongly, strongly recommend that, and again, you don't have to take my advice, but you got to double up on that love. And you got to double up on reminding them that it's their loss, not your children. So if the fathers don't want anything to do with their kids, you have to, you man up for the kids. You do what you have to do. Man up for them and say, something, your daddy doesn't want to be around. It has nothing to do with you. It's a him problem, not a you. We have to make sure that our children understand that what the fathers choose, and fellas, it's the same for you, for the mothers, what the other parent chooses to do has nothing to do with the children. It's not the kid's fault. It's not their problem. They are loved regardless. They're unconditionally loved. And do everything you can possibly do. Learn from their fathers. Learn from their fathers. Learn how you want your children, especially your sons, how you don't want them to be like their fathers. And do whatever is necessary to just reassure them. Children need reassurance, guys. They need reassurance. Even though you may have teenage kids, your kids may be like, oh, I want to be with my friends and hang out. Always, always, always reassure them. I'm telling you, it plays a very big role in reassuring them, because children who get rejected by their fathers, or even their mothers who get rejected by their parents, they internalize that. they internalize that. They may not say anything. They may not say, oh, well, dad doesn't want to be around me and I'm sad. They may not tell you anything, but they internalize that rejection. And that's what causes a rejection wound. So what they'll end up doing is being in search of their father's love. Because, I mean, listen, you love them. You're their moms. You love them dearly. But because they're still in search for their father's love, like, why doesn't my dad love me? Why doesn't my dad want me? They can end up being in relationships with the kinds of females that are, in essence, like their fathers. Manipulative, abusive, the type to up and leave and abandon. Children develop abandonment issues, abandonment wounds. They develop these things because they think my dad doesn't want to be around me. It's my fault. And as long as I'm a firm believer in this, as long as you reassure them that you love them and you reassure them that no matter what, I have your back. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. Okay? It makes a very big difference, a huge difference, because those will be the type of people, your children, when they become adults, they will not only appreciate you more, but they will understand dad left because he was selfish or because he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do, not because mom just tried to keep me away from him. Because you do have mothers who use their children as pawns, narcissistic types as well. They use their children as pawns and they hold them again. They withhold them from their fathers. So when the time comes that the child says, well, mom, where's dad? How come he's not around? Because she's busy trying to hurt him, the father. Oh, I don't know. Meantime, she's the one who's sitting behind the scene doing all of this that's keeping the father away. And the children automatically assume there's no explanation, there's no reassurance, there's no, oh, well, I'm here for you. Nothing. Their key thing is hurting the father, hurting the other parent. And the child is just left wondering. And they end up, again, either becoming in extremely codependent relationships, or they can even end up becoming very, abusive like towards people in the relationship they get involved with. I've learned to remind myself that there shouldn't be good moments. And you know what? And instead, Katie, I have an idea of what you were and instead of good friend, relationship, partnership overall. Don't let, I tell people all the time, don't let the good behaviors, overrule the bad behaviors, the disrespect. Don't let that. Please don't let that. As much as you want to sit there and say to yourself, but we had a lot of good times. Yeah, you did have a lot of good times. 9 out of 10 times, that's because more than likely it was due to you. Because when you have people who are like this, who are in self-preservation mode, who are in survival mode, they're not the easiest people to deal with. And that's why a lot of them will end up being in a longer term relationship with someone who's a codependent or an empath. They are in longer term relationships with these people because codependents and empaths tend to be passive aggressive. They tend to overlook certain things. They tend to bite their tongue and just, all right, I'm just going to let that pass. All right, I'm going to let that pass. All because they don't want to have confrontation. They don't want confrontation. But people who are either equally toxic or not codependent are, very self-aware, very, very secure with themselves. They don't have a problem telling them to go fuck themselves if they had to. I know I said I was going to calm down with the cursing, but, I can't help it. They won't have a problem doing that. And that's why when being in a relationship with a narcissistic person, if you're coming from a codependent background, it's a lot easier for them to step all over you. It's a lot easier for them because they know that you want to heal them. They know that you want to love them. They know that you don't ask for much. How many of you have been discarded, or even, ended up having to leave because you couldn't take it anymore. But you said, I didn't ask for much. I didn't ask for much. All I asked was for the basics. The basics for them is still too much. It's still too much. It's too much to ask for anything. And they're the kind of people that if it's not their idea, they won't budge. Sometimes, I mean, listen, it's still kind of considered manipulation, but and maybe subconsciously you did it. Maybe you had to kind of maneuver things to give them the impression that it was their idea, just to, get them to do something. And again, yeah, it is a form of manipulation, guys, okay? But this is the way they think. If it's not my idea, if I am not requesting it, if I am not making, setting things up in my own way so I can eventually control everything, I won't do it. I won't do it. You can't make me do it. I won't budge. And that's just that. And then when you start to kick and say, that's not fair, it's not right, now you're complaining too much. Now you're acting like a child. You're acting like a baby. Oh, now what are they going to do? They're going to punish you. They're going to punish you. And their ways of punishment, they are so ridiculously petty with it, but they will find ways to punish you. They will withdraw affection in your relationship. Okay. They may take away attention, and, they'll do it in such a way where you are left to question yourself. Like, what the heck just happened? What's wrong? And I know a lot of you are familiar with the silent treatment in your relationship, where they will, speak to you when they're good and ready to speak to you. Or, if you need to give me my space because you did something that I didn't like and it affects me, and blah blah blah, and all this shit. And it's like, it's too, guys, it's too much work. It is way too much work. I've come to realize that for me it's best to be single, because if I'm going to put a lot of work into something, I'm just going to do it for myself. I cannot deal. And I come to that realization. I can't deal with knowing that, listen, people in the world, they screw up. They screw up. They mess up all the time. Okay? Someone who cheats, someone who commits infidelity, yeah, it's a screw up. Yeah, it's a selfish choice. And understand that when you get into relationships with anyone, I'm not saying that they will, but you are running into the possibility that yes, they may cheat. They may commit infidelity. And oftentimes, the reason you're so extremely hurt is because of the expectations that you have had within your relationship. You expected them to be loyal to you. You expected them to be faithful to you. You expected them to be honest with you. Okay? You expected these things because essentially you figured, which, there's nothing wrong with thinking this way. We're in a monogamous relationship. There should be all of these things. But the fact of the matter is, people are fuck ups. That is the truth. They're screw ups. We are flawed by nature. We err naturally. It's just the way it is. People will cheat, people will lie, people will steal, people will hurt you, whether intentional or not. People will do these things. When you get into a relationship with someone, okay, this is what getting over codependency has helped me to realize. When you get into a relationship with someone, okay, you are supposed to be whole. That person is supposed to be whole. That person, if they commit actions, if they do whatever it is they do, their own choices, their own actions, they're not your responsibility. So if they were dishonest with you and they cheated on you, well, I cheated on you because you were working too much. You were working too much. You weren't giving me much attention, and you want to come with something better than that, man. Because this idea of you deflecting, which is pretty much what that is, deflecting onto their partner. They're known to do that. Narcissists are known to do that. I cheated on you because You haven't been around. You haven't been giving me attention. You haven't been doing, your job as a woman or as a man. So I decided to go out of this relationship and sleep with someone else. Okay. And that's my fault. How? Well, you're working all the time. I got bills to pay. You want a broke bum bitch? Let's be realistic here. Let's be 110% honest. Thank you, user 377. Thank you so much. I use that collagen cream every night before bed, and I wash my face with extremely cold water in the mornings. Spiritual. I've been dealing with anxiety and jealousy coming from me because of my last relationship. Jealousy is, listen, it happens. It is what it is, and at the end of the day, something. Jealousy is. It's a natural reaction, but it just depends on the level. It depends on the level of jealousy. Jealousy can be something as simple as, oh, you looked at that girl or you looked at that guy and, I wasn't cool with that. That wasn't right. Wasn't nice, whatever. That's minimal. But jealousy to an extreme is, sitting outside their house, trying to peek into their windows or climbing their fire escapes and I'm not trying to give nobody ideas, please, please, please. But, stalking and harassing and trying to, that is an extremely dangerous type of jealousy. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes. Guys, I was at a point in my life where I did not think that I would even be able to get hi Dope Poet. I didn't think I would be able to get through the emotions, get through my emotions. Like I thought it was the end all for me. I really could not. And I never understood how one person, I've been in shitty relationships, I've been abused, I have been, lied to, I've been cheated on, I've been all of these things, but I never understood how one person could have such a massive effect on me. And I think primarily what got me in that moment was I couldn't understand how things went down the way they did. I could not understand how when I did nothing to warrant that. And I think that was the part that bothered me most. You guys got to think about the situation at hand and then pinpoint what is it that bothered you most about it? What bothered you most about it? People break up all the time. It's life. It is what it is, right? But there is something, a lot of the time when you find yourself ruminating or if you find yourself thinking constantly about the situation, or if you find yourself in a position to constantly say, but this doesn't make sense, but that doesn't make sense. You got to pinpoint exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. For me, it was, I treated you with so much respect. I never disrespected you, even though I could. I could not understand it. But then I pretty much, I connected all the dots. I connected all the dots. I then understood. And then I said, okay, this is who this person is. Hi, official. Hi, Stella. Hi, sweetheart. I connected all the dots. I understood what it was. And guess what? Okay. So this is the reason why I got my complete and full closure on it. Oftentimes, again, people who ruminate or who are kind of still stuck in between, even though they have no, they feel they don't have a reason to, it's because of lack of closure. It could be because of the lack of clarity. You have a lot of people who were not given clarity. You have people who were just completely left out of the blue, didn't even see it coming, and no answers, no nothing, got nothing but gaslighting and breadcrumbing and stonewalling. That's all you got. You have to figure out what it is that is holding on to you, because it's an energy, it's like an energy cord, but it's something that of that situation that holds on to you. And once you figure it out, because it's like a puzzle or a game, right? When you have completed a puzzle, are you gonna break the thing apart and do it all over again? No, you're just gonna move on to the next puzzle, right? If you're playing a game, I don't play video games like that, but if you're playing a game, oh, spiritual, oh, thanks for letting me know, sweetheart. Well, if you play video games, when you complete a level, you know, you move on to the next level, right? You don't play the same level all over again. You've already completed it. You beat it. You're done. On to the next thing. I think that's one of the things, the biggest things that victims of abuse have a real hard time with, is that it's like they're stuck in this puzzle because it's kind of like an OCD type of situation where it's like, you know, I gotta figure this out. I gotta understand why. All right, will do. I gotta understand why, and I get it. I was there. I was there for a while. I completely understand. Brooklyn Low, will I be happy? Of course you will. Because your happiness depends on you. It doesn't depend on other people. It depends on you. And it depends on what you do to make yourself happy. Okay? Again, I can ask myself the same question. Erica, will I be happy? Hell yeah, you will. Especially when you get this degree, especially when you're making more money, especially when you got, you know, stocks and bonds and you got things happening for you. Of course, because I did it for me. Ain't nobody else doing it for me. I did it for me. At the end of the day, you want to be happy? Be happy. People find that hard. It's not hard to achieve. I'm being 1000% honest with you. It's not hard to achieve at all. You want to be happy? Be happy. Be happy. You want to be sad? Be sad. Being happy and being sad, listen, goes hand in hand, goes back and forth. Being miserable, on the other hand, that right there is something I don't touch. I refuse to touch it. I will not touch it. I will not pick it up. I don't care how pretty it looks. I don't care how nice and shiny on the outside. I will not. But happy and sad, you have some days you're really happy. You have some days you're sad, and that's fine. That's fine. You're human. You have emotions. You will get through that. But being miserable, suffering, man, listen, don't pick that up. Don't pick that up, and don't take on that responsibility on yourself. If you come around people who are miserable and they choose to, because see, suffering is a choice. Believe it or not, guys, it's really more choice, because you go through pain. You go through pain. You go through the emotions, but you try, you try to figure out ways to get out of it. That is your survival mechanism. That is survival your survival instincts. If you're in pain, you're trying to relieve it, right? Look at what happened in COVID. Everybody was trying to survive, right? They were trying to survive, and they managed to make, a lot of people, unfortunately, did not manage to make it through, but, majority managed to make it through. That is part of your survival instincts. If God forbid you fell, you slid down a hill and you scraped up your leg, what are you doing? Are you going to sit there and just suffer and say, oh my gosh, my leg, it hurts, and there's a freaking hospital right up the road? Are you going to sit there and suffer, or are you going to go to the hospital to get pain ointment and, to relieve it? Suffering does not have to be a part of your life. You're going to go through moments of suffrage, but then you're going to get through it. Oh, Monica, did you? My schedule has been it's just been so hectic. And now that I'm starting school again, anybody who, prior to my school schedule, just so you know, I'm going to go through my emails. If anyone had set up any one-on-ones with me, I'm going to go through my emails and check through. I will honor those sessions, because I know I said that I will postpone sessions after I start classes. But anyone who had scheduled a session with me prior to, I will honor those sessions, okay? Just so you know. I am so sorry. Oh, you know what? December 22nd? Was I sick around that time? I was sick around that time. I was out of it. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So we could definitely reschedule something. That's not a problem. I feel I'm there. I want to move. I want to move out of California. You're in California? It's hard to move on from PTSD if we allow ourselves to keep our mindset as a victim. Yes. Yes. It is hard to, PTSD, listen, you don't get rid of PTSD, just so everyone knows. If you're suffering PTSD, is not something that you could take a magic pill and you can get rid of it. Because if it was, trust me, we all would have been taking it. PTSD is your emotional and psychological response to trauma, traumatic experiences. Okay. And more so, it's your response to situations that resemble those traumatic experiences. And I think that a little bit, and it might sound kind of counterintuitive, but I think that, a little form of PTSD is actually protecting in a way. It is protecting in a way because it kind of puts you at attention to situations, you know, where you have to bring that guard up and say, wait, I'm not pulling this guard down until I have analyzed everything and I understand what's going on. And I think that that is fine. That is perfectly fine. But if you have a severe case of PTSD where you are pretty much, just completely guarded in the sense of you have made this whole entire fort around you that not even the most genuine or sincerest people can even get near you, then that would be, cause for you need to definitely seek professional help to help you with that. But people who have gone through it, who are still currently carrying PTSD, but in a way that, they make it work for them, that they're not hurting other people, but they're actually managing to guide through whatever they got to get through with it. If you can make it work for you, make it work for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, you got to get over it. You got to get, this is done. It's over. No, you don't get over. PTSD is simply something that is within your DNA. The minute you experience the traumatic experience, and no matter what it was, it's like embedded in your DNA. It's part of you. It's part of who you are. There, to me, in my honest opinion, there's no completely getting rid of that. You don't get rid of that. It's just something that stays with you. It's something that you can learn to control. It's something that you can learn to minimize, but it's not something that you get rid of. It stays with you. And at the end of the day, if that is the case for you, I see it as make it work for you. Make it work for you. Don't let it control you. You control it. Don't let PTSD control you. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Anytime I think about dating, my brain does this fight or flight mode and it gets so foggy. Dating after narcissistic abuse, dating after being in a domestically abusive relationship is an extreme struggle. It's an extreme struggle because you don't know who to trust. You don't know pretty much what to do because of everything that you have experienced. Anyone who has been physically abused in their relationships, and it doesn't matter if it was recent or years ago, that lives with you too. That lives with you too. And anyone who's ever been in a physically abusive relationship, it's a very big struggle for them simply because that type of fear that has been instilled, it conditions you. Physical abuse conditions the person to be extremely overreactive, extremely hypersensitive, extremely filled with anxiety. Okay. Anyone who's familiar with physical abuse would, knows what I'm referring to. And it makes them completely, it can really make someone completely paranoid, to where if you're in a relationship with someone and they lift their hand just to kind of, maybe give you an embrace and give you a hug and you just hunch back, like that's you being reactive towards the trauma, the trigger, because that's triggering you. That's you being reactive towards the traumatic experience. You're not even being reactive towards the person as, you know, as them, as they're trying to embrace you, you are reacting towards that traumatic experience. And it's interesting because I have my psychology book. I'll go over it next week with you guys, but it does have references with regards to that conditioning and your response as a result of that conditioning. Dating after narcissistic abuse, you are completely guarded. You are completely, you're not trusting anybody. You are not trusting anybody. You are like, I'm pretty sure a lot of you like, God, I swore I would never do this again. Why am I even here? You know, and part of you doesn't, you know, if you're anything like me, I didn't really even like being out in the dating scene. I was like, I'm not even touching it. I'm not touching it. And it's interesting because I've been in bad relationships before. I've been in bad situations and it didn't stop me. But this particular situation pushed me so far over the edge that I just decided to completely be single. And I stayed single going on 5 years. I said, I'm not dating nobody. I'm not going to be in a relationship with anyone. And I think of it now, not because of what I think they would do to me, but because of what I am truly capable of now. So I just I keep my distance. I keep my distance. And I was explaining to Amanda the other night how, you know, in that relationship, that person was very, just very rude, crude, and nasty. Like he had very extremely nasty moments. And I noticed that in the beginning of the relationship, and you probably went through this too, in the beginning of the relationship, I had a backbone. I would stand up for myself. No, you're not going to talk to me like that. No, you're not going to act that way towards me. No, this is not going to happen, and so forth and so on. I showed this person that I'm not going to tolerate that behavior, and this is what happens if you behave this way. So that person doubled back. They doubled down. Okay, I'm not going to act this way. And they didn't act that way for a while. And it kind of let them know, okay, I'm not putting up with that shit. And it was great. The beginning was perfectly great, like any honeymoon stage in a relationship. A situation happens, and boom, all of a sudden, everything just kind of went downhill. Now, what I didn't understand then that I understand now is that during the relationship, there were moments where there were highs and there were moments where there were lows. And the highs were, you know, we were having good times, we were going to gatherings, events, hanging out with friends and family, and it was really good. Excuse me. And the lows were just, you know, getting really nasty with me for no apparent reason. Excuse me. See, already starting. Getting nasty with me for no apparent reason, making me feel, excuse me, it's that tickle in my throat. I told you. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. I don't understand. I was doing perfectly fine. I'm sorry, guys. But having really nasty moments, and I couldn't even, excuse me, I couldn't recognize the person that I was talking to. 1 minute, it's cool, it's great. Oh, shit. I can't. I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna see the people on the bus. They all looked at me like, you better walk home. I'm sorry about that, guys. But one day it would be, you know, it would be great. It would be fine, cool. Nothing was wrong. Next day, I don't know what crawled up their ass. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I don't understand why. Hi, Brooke. How are you? Hi, Butch. Hi, sweetheart. Happy New Year. Oh, Jill, thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you for that. I always appreciate the love, guys. I'm so appreciative of you guys. Truly am. And I love the fact that women Really good women can sit here and empower other women. That means a lot to me. It really, really does. I thank you so much. Okay, I think the halls is helping a bit. But yeah, there would be days that things would be fine, and then days that it was like, why are you talking to me that way? Why are you yelling? Why are you getting nasty? Why are you being rude? And I come to learn. I'll give you an example. I work 2 jobs, and every day I would call this person during the lunch break. This person had lunch at 12 o'clock for an hour. And this is what I would do to be considerate. I would not only take my lunch break around their lunch break, but I only had a half-hour lunch break. So I would give them the first half hour so they can sit and eat. And then the next half hour, I can call them. And it was kind of like a toss of a coin because I really wouldn't know what mood that person would be in. I didn't know if they would be nasty. I didn't know if they were going to be, chilled, relaxed, cool. I didn't know anything. And there were times where we would talk on the phone, and when I would speak with them, it would just go from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds. Couldn't understand why. Could not understand why. There was one time, and this is one thing I could say, because I already, for anyone who's new, I can tell you right now, I have not diagnosed this person. I cannot diagnose this person. So I can only go based on the behaviors that were presented to me. But there was one time where this person attempted to embarrass me in front of their family. And by that, this person attempted to exert their authority over me in front of the family. We were at a gathering, and I was getting up to go into the house. We were in the yard. I was getting up to go into the house to grab something from my purse. The minute I get up and I walk to the door, excuse my language, but this is exactly what they said. Where the fuck are you going? But really loud for everyone to hear him. Everyone heard him. And I think at that point in time, and I think, guys, when you reach a certain point in your relationship, especially when the disrespect and the disregard and the inconsideration is just like become too much, you kind of like spaz out. You get like, who the hell are you talking to? Like, and that was exactly my reaction. When I turned around, everybody was looking at me. Everybody was looking at me. So I had no choice but to respond. And at that point in time, I responded. I'm trying to find out who it is that you're talking to like that. And of course, the family members are looking at me like, yeah, go Erica. Yeah, stand up for yourself. This lets me know that this person tries to exert their authority in a lot of situations with a lot of people. Okay. And the mere fact that they were saying that simply lets me know that that this person is capable of being a prick. But yet you won't really you won't really step in and really give that person that is treating this person who's a prick, treating them like a king or queen, whatever the situation is. That let me know that, I'm not keen on that. That little situation right there. When I turned around and I asked him, and I was serious about it, he, tried to play it off like he was just playing. I'm just playing. No, we don't play like that. And then, there are days where they would be cool. They would be, great. They would be lovey-dovey. They would be, loving on me and caressing and hugging and kissing. And it got too hot and cold. It just got too hot and cold. It was always back and forth. But point of it is that there were parts of me that were kind of peeking through. Parts of who I am now were kind of peeking through. And I think a lot of us who have faced these situations have a new version of ourselves. And the fact of the matter is that this isn't really a new version of yourself, this is really, in my opinion, who you're really truly meant to be and who is trying to come out in those situations. So when you found yourself trying to stand up, when you found yourself trying to respond and trying to, you know, excuse me, like, are you seriously talking to me this way? Those bits and pieces, those moments were the people that you are now, that person was trying to come out back then. But for myself, I kept pushing it down. I didn't want to tip the boat over. I didn't want to get him upset. I didn't want to make him feel like, I didn't want to make him feel like, I was trying to confront him or trying to irritate him. I walked on so many damn eggshells, okay? So many damn eggshells that the amount of cuts that were on the bottom of my feet were just ridiculous. Can a narcissist put you down? Oh, they definitely can. They definitely can. And it's oftentimes it's to make you feel lower than them because they are often feeling low about themselves. So with them feeling low about themselves, listen, I feel low about myself. You're naturally a happy person. I don't like that because I'm not naturally a happy person. So now I have to do what I have to do to bring you down, to bring you to my level, because I don't like this feeling of being down here and you're up here. You could be sitting right next to the person and be in such a good mood and just be having a great day. You can be having all kinds of good stuff happening to you in your life. But if that person is not feeling it, if that person is feeling jealous or feeling, miserable or whatever the case may be, they will try to ruin your happiness. They will try to ruin your happiness. Narcissistic people are the kind of people also, if you have a good event going on, let's say you have an event happening and it's supposed to be about you, they will cause scenes, they will do things to steal the spotlight at your event, whether it be your graduation, whether it be your wedding, whether it be, a launch for, a new business, whatever the case may be. They will do things subtly, sometimes unsubtly. They will do things that will wreak havoc on your events just so they can have the spotlight, just so they can be the center of attention. That's what a narcissist does. They lie on people simply because they don't want people knowing the truth about them. And you got to look at it this way too, guys. Here's one of the reasons why a lot of people probably are a little iffy about believing anything you say, especially if you're coming forward after all the time that you spent with them or after all the times that you possibly took them back. If you continuously went back into the relationship, they will lie on you because it's more convenient for them. It's easier for them. It's convenient and it's easier for them to pretty much put you in the spotlight as being the villain because, listen, these people, they have an image they have to preserve. They have to maintain this image. They have to keep this whole false ideal that this is who I am when the reality is this is who I am. People find it iffy with you when you come forward on abuse and you come forward on these things because if this was going on, why didn't you simply leave? This is where people who don't understand the concepts of traumatic bonding, who don't understand the ins and outs of your relationship, what you had gone through, because they don't understand these things, they're not going to understand your reasons for staying. They're not going to understand precisely what it was that happened in your relationship that ultimately, pushed you to stay. Literally, one I went to, no contact with, caused drama before my grad dinner. Like, come on, yeah. When they don't get their way, when they don't get the things they want, they do things to try to poke at you, to try to create drama for you, to try. And guys, it's not just relationships. Parents do this all the time to their children. Parents do it to their children. Siblings do it to, you know, their other siblings. It's not just romantic relationships. Friends do this to friends. Co-workers do. I mean, it doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship. It's simply, this is their nature. If it's not about them, if you know, if the spotlight is on someone else but them, it doesn't matter whose event it is. I want the spotlight. They will do whatever it takes, and without a care in the world. Hi, Andrea. You know what I realized? I don't have the window open for YouTube.
What do you mean?
I don't have it on my laptop. That's why I couldn't see the comments. I couldn't. Oh. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. And please don't be bothered by the smacking. I'm sorry. I don't want to be coughing in your faces, guys. I'm trying hard not to. I don't want to cough. I know a lot of you probably have headphones on. All right, here we go. Here we go. I got y'all, YouTube. I'm so sorry if I didn't get to see your comments. I'm old, guys. Please bear with me. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep up. I really am. Okay. So now I changed my number because I'm tired of the abuse and her just using me. Guys, if you can change your phone numbers, change them. If you can change your phone numbers, change them, please. That will definitely assist. You know, the majority of time, people who get drugged back into a Hoover is because a lot of the time their narcissistic ex manages to contact them through their phone. You can delete this, and you can delete them on social media. You can block them. You can take off all your social media platforms. You can take off all your pages. You can deactivate everything. But it would be kind of redundant to do that if they still have your phone number. It really would. Like I'm being completely honest. If you can change your phone number, meaning you don't use it for work purposes, you don't have children. I mean, if you have children with them, you have to do limited contact. But if you have no type of ties with this person and it's just a personal cell phone, change your number. Change your number. That'll be so effective because there is no way they can contact you. There's no way they can, accidentally send you a text message. Oh, I meant to send it to this other person and I accidentally sent it to you, or accidentally butt dialed you, or accidentally drunk called you. No. No. How would they react if you cheat on them? Oh. Cheating on them is a very big ego breaker. Like it's they can be very reactive, or they can be plotting how to get back at you in the worst way possible. Meaning, excuse me, they could go silent. Excuse me. I can't. I'm so sorry, guys. I have this scratch in my throat. And it's not letting me get the water, please. Oh my gosh. The devil don't want me to talk, man. I'm sorry. I'm convinced it's the devil don't want me to talk. That was like, you talking too much. I can't. There's nothing there. It's dry. Oh man. See, the devil tries to make you tired when you want to read the Bible, and now the devil don't want me to talk. He's like, you giving away too much. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Woo. Oh man, I have never. You see, I think it's a conspiracy. That guy, a spring popped in my eye and it popped the vessel. I'm gonna show you guys. You see that right there? You see that? Horrible, right? Trying to fix the daggone thing. The spring popped in my eye, which I hope to God's by tomorrow. I hope my eye is good by tomorrow. But that popped in my eye. My throat is, I don't even know what the hell's going on. My throat, it feels like I swallowed the shredded wheats without the milk. Like, it just, oh. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Monica. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to pray on it and pray. And I've been, and what have I been doing? At night before I go to bed, I put the prayers, the scriptures, like they have on YouTube, like you can loop it for hours. I've been putting that on at night to help me sleep. And it's like that battle because I've been feeling it, man. I've been feeling it. But, oh, sweet Jesus, take the wheel. Narcissistic people will come to be a stalker once you ignore them because you're ruining their ego. Yes. Not only that, which is synonymous to ruining the ego, but you're not giving them attention. You're not focusing on them anymore. And they want to know what it is that you're doing. What's so interesting going on in your life that you're not giving me attention anymore? Or if any of you have just kind of went like, you just, went cold. 1 minute you were, I want answers. Tell me what's going on. I want clarity. I want closure. I want something. You went from that to, you know what, just screw you. I'm just going to move on and do my own thing. In their mind, because you're feeding their ego, even if you're chasing after them, you're chasing them for answers, for clarity. Oh yeah, got the whole bag here. You're chasing them for, for something. When you decide, okay, I'm not even gonna deal with this anymore. I'm just gonna go my own way. I give up. The ironic part of it, you see, you never cared about me. You never cared about me anyway. That's why you moved on. You never cared. You never cared about anything about us, and it's like it's too draining. It's too tiring, and to be quite honest, it's just like dealing with someone who is just who's so immature and so selfish. I just, man, I just couldn't. Let me tell you, during my discard, a lot of you know the story, but some of you don't. During my discard, I just took into account that, no matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter how I tried to, clear things up or try to be as nice as I possibly could, I was so soft-spoken and so nice. And I got met with such rage, such aggravation, such disgust. I mean, just so many different emotions in one. And I've never experienced that with someone before. At least not someone I genuinely love. But in dealing with that and seeing the callousness and seeing the, the disregard, the I don't care attitude, I don't care what you do, I don't care where you go, I don't care who you're with or who you're talking to, I don't care about none of these things. I don't care about you. The minute you turn away from that and you say, something, you have shown me everything that I needed to see to push me in the direction that I need to go, because you clearly don't care. The minute you turn around and say, yep, I'm gone, I'm out, screw this, you never cared about us anyway. You see how you're quick to abandon? You see, why don't you? I got told, I'll tell you exactly what I got told. Why don't you leave like everybody else does? Go ahead and leave like everybody else does. And the crazy part is that I was fighting to stay, but because of the way this person was acting, I couldn't stay there. I could not stay in that. I was just like, you're crazy. And not to say, listen, I shouldn't even use the word crazy, but this situation is crazy. And the fact that you are not being honest, you're not being open, you're not being clear, you're not being transparent, you're not telling me what exactly it is. I decided to cut all ties. I decided at some point it was a done deal. I could not deal with that. And they know that you can't deal with that. That's why they push the envelope with you. That's why they continuously poke at you. They poke your buttons. How many of you were met with breadcrumbing, right? Where they did everything they did possible to push you away, and then when push came to shove, whatever reason, out of the blue, they pop up and they text you. And they text you like if nothing happened. They reach out to you and it's just sporadic messages, but it's like little breadcrumbs here and there. And you're like, what happened a week ago that now you are messaging me? Now you're coming towards me. What and the minute you ask that question, oh my gosh, see, this is why I don't talk to you. This is why I don't message you. This is why I don't bother, because you're always complaining. Nothing I ever do is good enough. You are always complaining. This is why we're going through the problems we're going through. Don't fall for that bullshit, man. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't fall for that bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You're asking questions. You want to know why, and they're not trying to give you answers to it. So because they're not trying to answer you, because let's be 1000% honest here, okay? They were out doing whatever they wanted to do. They were out doing whoever they wanted to do. And at the end of the day, if it got a little boring for them, at the end of the day, if they found themselves thinking about you because they want to know what it is that you're doing, that's why they reached out to you. But you asking questions, you can't ask questions. You can't ask them. You can't ask them who, what, where, when, why, how. You can't ask them those things. Because if you do, you get met with, this is why we don't work out. This is why, because you are constantly complaining and doing this and doing that. And I wouldn't be complaining if you wouldn't be lying. Okay, enough with the bullshit. Oh, yes, Mia. She said, is there something I should know or need to know? And I had no clue what she was talking about. It's kind of like trying to make you confess to something that you didn't do, or it's kind of like if they're having a nasty attitude or moment and you're like, what's the matter? What's going on? Well, what do you think is the matter? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. And then you get to a point where this constant attitude or this behavior is persistent, but you notice how it's persistent with you. It's persistent with you, right? You could be sitting right next to them and they have this constant face and this nasty attitude. And this is where, and this is why people are like, well, how would you assume that something is your responsibility or something is your fault if you didn't do anything wrong? Try sitting next to them having a real nasty attitude, a real, just a mean mug, whatever. The minute their phone rings, it's one of their friends. One of their friends called, boom, they pick up the phone, attitude totally changes. Disposition totally changes. Everything changes. They're being nasty and cruel and callous towards you. Come around their friends, they're a totally different person. Totally different person. Yes. Plus, they want to know all about your fears and things you and things you've and things that you've wrong, or I guess you've done wrong, just to throw it in your face. They like to know things to have things over your head. They like to know things to have things over your head. They like to create scenarios. I don't know what it is, but I always felt like the person I dealt with, I always felt like they wanted to like catch me in the act, right? Which I worked 2 jobs. I worked 80 hours a week. Only act you were gonna catch me in was fucking sleeping in my bed. But they wanted to catch me doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing or I shouldn't have been doing so they can have something to lord over my head. So they can have something to compare me to. You know, you're just like my other ex. You're just like this. You're just like that. Any little thing that they can get to show a flaw or show, you know, just some type of malice within me. Wasn't nothing to find. Because if you come from a genuine space, you got a genuine heart. You're not gonna find anything. They look for things. They may look around in your apartment. They may look through your things. They may look through your closets. They'll even look through your trash if they have to. They will look through your trash, see what you got in there. I did not physically see this person, but I know for a fact that they went through my phone. And I'm sure they did it when I was asleep. They look through your phone. If you leave your phone out, they'll look through it. Instead of asking you, can I look, can I see what's in your phone? At the end of the day, listen, I'd rather ask the person that I'm with, can I see what's in your phone? Now, if that person gets extremely defensive and tells me, no, that's a violation of my privacy. No, I'm asking you if I can see what's in your phone. A violation of your privacy would me be looking into your phone without your permission. That's a violation of privacy. So I'm asking you if I can look into your phone. Okay? If I have to go sneaking around to find something in your phone, that is a problem. But if I can ask you, can I see your phone? And you give it to me willingly, no problem. What's the problem? I can look in it. There's nothing in there. Cool. Here's my phone. This person looked through my phone. They've looked through my phone. They've looked probably through my messages. They probably went on my social media, which I only had Facebook at the time, and found nothing. Absolutely nothing. I asked this person one time, if I can use their phone. And this was on, I think it was Father's Day. It had to be, I think it was Father's Day. I had taken this person out for dinner and I needed to transfer money in my bank account. My phone wasn't working in the restaurant. The bars were low. I couldn't log on to my account. I asked this person if I could use their phone so I could log onto my bank account and transfer the money over. Well, what do you need to use my phone? Don't you have your phone? I have my phone, but I need to use your phone. Well, what's the problem? What's it like? They'll try to find. Pay attention to that, guys. But yeah, they don't have a problem looking through your things. They'll look through all of your things. They'll look through your house. If you guys share an apartment together, they'll look through your private stuff. But if you do it to them, and then God forbid, if you do it to them and you find something, I found pictures of this, or I found videos or text messages, or, explain yourself, they're going to deflect. How dare you look through my stuff? I can't trust you. You're looking through my such bullshit. I can't help but laugh. I really can't help but laugh at that, because that right there is classic. Yeah, for sure, right? She laughing at me. Laughing at me because I'm choking. Yeah, Monica, if you can let me know, because listen, man. I mean, I ain't scared of nothing. I'm not scared of ghouls and goblins. I'm really not scared of that, because at the end of the day, they can't. They have no authority over me. But devil don't want me to talk. They don't want me to talk. I imagine. I imagine. Mia. I want to make sure I say your name right, but I imagine that because everybody's going through different discards. Everybody's going through different points of their lives dealing with a narcissistic person. Again, don't focus on the label. Please don't. A manipulator is a manipulator, and they will tell you things. And this is why I say pay attention. First of all, pay attention to what they say to you. Pay attention to how they say it to you, because sometimes it's not what you say; it's how you say it. Okay. Pay attention to the things that they say and what it would translate to. If you have someone that sits there, tries to put you down for no apparent reason, or tries to make you feel inadequate, that's simply them projecting onto you because of how they feel about themselves. Do not misconstrue that as that being your own thoughts. Those are not your thoughts. Those are their thoughts about themselves. Because quite frankly, if somebody, first of all, listen, I've had people ask me if I was a dude. Okay? Yes, I said it. I had people ask me, are you a man? Okay. I told them let's drop our pants and see who's bigger, but it is what it is. You cannot account for other people's stupidity. You can't. You can't do it. Don't take responsibility for other people's actions and other people's thoughts. So if you know what I think, and then this is my honest opinion, okay? Because when I go outside, I have the resting bitch face. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be bothered. So when a guy comes to me and says, "Are you a dude?" That to me is symbolic of, I think that you are so damn fine, and I probably don't have a chance with you. So I gotta come at you and ask you if you're a dude. Okay. Somebody I wish you would have told me what that person said, because I would have had somebody in a live, I think it was like a few weeks ago, asked me how long did it take for me to transition.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm trying to figure out what the point of the question is. How long did it take for you to transition? Now a lot of you know me. A lot of you know me. A lot of you know me, and a lot of you know that I have a mouth on me. So when someone sits here and says, "Well, Erica, how long did it take for you to transition?" I have to be open-minded about the question, because you see, I'm not of this generation, okay? I grew up in the 90s.
1614.
What?
1614.
64? What the hell are you talking about?
1614.
What was 1614?
That's when you grew up.
I didn't grow up in no 1614. Toby, you keep fucking with me. Go ahead. I grew up in a generation, where we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have cell phones. I was lucky that I had caller ID. Okay. So when someone tells me, well, how long did it take for you to transition? I have to be, I try to be as sensitive as I can towards other people, because I don't know what the foundation of that question is. It could be, how long did it take for you to transition from where you were into, as far as the whole situation is concerned, because it is a transition stage. But now if homie's asking me how long did it take for me to transition from being a man into a woman, what I would have told him, much like your penis, not long at all. But again, let me make something very abundantly clear, because apparently people don't seem to understand. I bite back. I do not care. Do not look at me. I'm not a social media influencer, okay? I don't do that. I'm not going to sit here trying to sell people anything, and I'm not going to tell anybody, oh, well, follow this and do that and do this, all for clout, all for... I got a busy ass schedule. I don't need to do that. I do this because I want to help people, and because I want to let people know, I know what you went through. I know what you're going through, and trust and believe you're going to get through it. But a lot of you already know, I don't play that shit. I don't deal with bullies. I don't deal with people trying to come at me talking about, and I wish you would tell me. I want you to tell me, because I don't emasculate people. I don't emasculate. I don't put people down. I don't berate people. That's not my style. But if you come for me, I'm gonna come for you. Simple as that. Simple as that.
And I'm trying to keep your channel open. I don't want you to get flagged and shut down.
Nobody shut me down. Devil can't shut me up.
Well, he about to choke you. I mean, you coughing.
But just so you know, I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for you guys. I'm an advocate for healing and understanding and just, learning about the situation, learning about what you went through and getting you through it. That's my concern. When people like that come around, this is why I say, guys, what they think, not your concern.
See,
not your problem.
I gotta collect that bail money. I gotta get you out.
Girl, dang on well, I got connections. So what you talking about?
That's right. You get out of bail reform.
Oh, I'm good, Monica. I'm good on that one. Trust me, I got way too many connections. Way too many connections. And again, like I said, it's my point of it is what they say, what they do. I don't have to take responsibility. I don't have to feel some kind of way about it. Someone can come to me and say, Erica, you're ugly. I may not be your cup of tea, but I'm champagne to somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of mentality that you need to walk with. Okay? These people who come to you and try to insult you or try to berate you or try to put you down or tear down your confidence or make you feel like you're inadequate, it's all simply because they feel those things about themselves. Because if you don't feel that way about yourself, that's not your thought process. That's not who you are. That's not what defines you. This person, especially if you've never disrespected them and you've given them nothing but the world, for someone that just makes no damn sense. For someone to come and say, oh, I mean, listen, I understand people fall out of love. It happens. You fall out of love, you fall out of love. There are proper ways of doing things. This right here, even if they try to front and say, well, I did love you and I cared about you or whatever, you don't do that. It's just so wrong. It's so callous. It's so mean. And it's just so unnecessary. It is so unnecessary. But I understand the reason why they do it. And the reason why they're doing it is because they're selfish. They're selfish. They try to push you away so you don't interfere with what they got going on. I told you guys this before. They push you in a direction. That's why they say all those mean and hurtful things to you, because they need you to not interfere with what they have going on, because what they have going on at this precise moment is deemed more interesting, is deemed more, it's more exciting for them. And because they feel that it's more exciting for them, they know that you're going to try to fight for it. They know that you're going to try to fight for your relationship. And with you doing that, you're going to interfere with what they're trying to achieve. And I see it this way. I don't force no man to be with me. I don't force anybody to be with me. You want to get up and leave and get up. None of this bullshit about let's take a break. A break for what?
Erica don't do breaks.
I don't do breaks. I make that clear. I don't do breaks. Okay? I do not do breaks. Because if that's the case, if it was so damn easy, I told my landlord, can I take a break?
Nope.
No. Okay? That whole let's take a break thing is simply a way to say, I want to step away from you because I want to see what else is out there. This is, it's boring to me. I'm vanilla, guys. Erica is vanilla, okay? I am the most vanilla-ist person you will ever come across. I am boring. I'm a homebody. I don't party. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. And I'm so vanilla that dealing with people who want to be, who want to act like teenagers, who want to be drinking and partying and, hanging out and no responsibilities and, just be like, Peter Pan or whatever. I don't got time for that shit. I got bills. I got a child. I got tuition. I got rent. I don't have time for that. But if the people you are dealing with is trying to, leave you for that type of lifestyle, hey, they did you a favor. They did you a favor. Because they're not only going to be another headache, but they're going to be another bill. They're going to be another bill on your back. Trust and believe. It's not worth it. It's really, truly not worth it. Sometimes I think narcs get mad when the only one they targeted doesn't target back. They hate when others are unbothered. They hate indifference. Narcissistic people hate indifference. They rely on your reaction, whether negative, whether positive. They rely on your reaction. Okay, this is what fuels them. This is what feeds them. If you react in a jealous way, you react in a, in a sad way, you're crying, whatever way, any kind of reaction you give them, it feeds them. They want you to focus on them, even though they're focusing on other things. You're focusing, that's just so damn selfish. If we really think about it, it's just so beyond me. It's like, ew, get over yourself. User 569, I could write a novel. And guys, I want you to know, and if you're interested, please let me know if you're interested. I'm still working on these novels, on these books, and these are survivor chronicles. If you're interested in submitting your story and you're interested in doing a timeline, it's everything's anonymous, so the names are not released, but the stories will fit whatever your storyline is. I've been working on these stories because, your story can help another person who's dealing with a situation. Your story can help another person who's going through the motions. As we speak, someone is being abused. As we speak, someone is being abused and possibly have had their life ended as a result of it. As we speak, someone is going through a discard. Someone is going through the motions. Someone is in psychological torment. Someone is possibly considering canceling themselves out. Someone is possibly considering just ending. As we speak, your stories help people. What you do to get through your healing helps people. How you deal with things and help give guidance, that helps people. Create the platforms, guys. If you're able to create them, I'm in full support of it. I'm in full support of it. Create these platforms and these videos and this content that will give people the that show that you're compassionate. Not only that you're compassionate, but that you understand. It helps people to be around other people who can relate, who can understand what they're going through, because they don't feel judged. They don't feel like yes, Katie, if you want to submit a story, if you want to submit your story, absolutely. I work the novels that I write, guys, these are not like, 2-3 page novels. Like these are like little miniature like books. So, if you are interested, it's gonna take me a little time, but if you are interested, I would be more than happy to publish it. I mean, I listen, set it up for you, boom, you get the first draft to see, how it's coming out. Yeah, absolutely. I would be more than glad to do that for you. Yeah, Survivor. I feel a sense of entitlement. All this. It's just so beyond aggravating. Like to know that people feel so entitled to, and mind you, you know what? Because they have a God complex. They have a God complex. But the thing is that their thing is they feel like they should be God in your life. They have, and the crazy part about it is that a lot of them fear death, believe that or not. But they have because see, the sociopaths are more the ones who don't give a damn about life, not their own, not other people. Narcissists, oh man, listen, they will do everything they possibly can to worm their way out of a nasty situation, before they ever even go to the point of losing their life and not giving a damn about it. But the entitlement is just, it's mind-boggling to me how they can actually sit there and say, you know, as like I see people all the time on social media. I see it all the time on these reality TV shows. And it's just like, why would this person want to be with that person when they can have me? Because nobody compares to me. It's like, God, I can't. But that entitlement is simply because of the enablers that they've had in their lives. They feel entitled because they've been enabled. And they've been enabled by either family, friends, lovers, whomever. Anyone who'd be willing to enable these behaviors is essentially pushed that whole entitlement aspect within them. Because you don't just walk outside and say, I'm entitled to this, I'm entitled. There's something that stemmed from that. There's something that stemmed from a situation that pushed them to feel they're entitled. And it's simply because they managed to get away with a lot of shit with people who are not coming forward on them. We have a child together, and it's so hard to just not be in contact anymore. With children, you can't not be in contact, but you can limit your contact. You can limit your contact. You know, if it's not about the children, I don't want to hear what you have to say. Simple as that. If it's not about the children, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You can throw fits, you can yell, you can scream, you can do whatever. Do it on the voicemail. Do it on the voicemail. I would not, I would refuse as far as entertaining that. You're not going to put me in a position where I'm going to be going in a back and forth war with you because you want to act like a child or you want to do things to try to hurt me or to spite me. And these people will cut off their nose to spite their face. These people do not care. They don't care about anyone else but themselves. And when it comes to the children, listen, I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to children, I'm a firm believer, and I mean, I'm not stating this to be a fact. This is my opinion. I'm a firm believer they have kids to trap people. They have kids to trap people because trapping people will pretty much keep that person in their life, regardless whether that person wants to be in their life or not. Because they don't put much effort into their own kids. They really don't, and not in private at least. Because in public, yeah, they have an image they have to show people. They have to show people, oh yeah, I love my kids, and this is how this is our relationship. This is how we do it. But at the end of the day, they're not connecting with their kids on that emotional level. Monica, what is it that you need from me, hon? She used her kid against me for money and to pay for their birthday party, etc. And her and I, yeah, just be very careful. Be very careful. They use children as pawns. They use children as a way to hurt people. They use children as a way to again trap people, to keep people stuck. They use children to they use children to just to manipulate you externally. They can use your kids because they know you love your kids. They know that you do anything for your kids. Okay, and it's the mere fact that you would do any and everything for your kids. That's why they don't, it pushes them even more. Okay. Monica, you would know better than I do, because but Monica, yeah. But sometimes I feel that when they become more nasty towards us, it's because they found a backup supply in line, just in case you go no contact before discard. Often, all right, no problem, Monica. Often, when it comes down to the nasty behaviors, that's a Jekyll and Hyde effect. The Jekyll and Hyde effect is pretty much, you know, pretty much what it is. If you've heard of Jekyll and Hyde, then you already know that it comes with hot and cold behaviors, very nasty mood swings, very back and forth, and with that, because if you're dealing with someone who has a mental illness and you are not coherent about it, you're not, you're not aware about this mental illness. This is just something that is happening throughout your time in your relationship. Think about it this way. someone with a mental illness, if you knew that they had a mental illness, one, would you still consider dealing with them? Which you have people who have mental illnesses and are in relationships and marriages, and they're, doing what they have to do to take care of it. But if you do choose to continue dealing with them, then you know that, okay, this person's attitude and behaviors and all of this are effects of the mental illness, of the medication that they're taking, if they're taking anything, so forth and so on. But being in a relationship with someone who has a mental illness and you're not aware of this mental illness, you're not aware of anything, you don't know anything. You're not a psychiatrist, you're not a therapist, you're not any of these things. So how would you know what you are dealing with? How would you know that, okay, this person has, BPD, this person has bipolar disorder, they have ASPD, they have schizophrenia, they have histrionic personality disorder, they have schizotypal personality, they have OCD, you don't know these things. So because you don't know these things, you're going according to what is happening in your relationship. You're going according to the actions within your relationship, which is why it's confusing you and why you feel, you see the hot and cold behaviors, you see the impulsiveness, you see the, the nasty mood swings, you see the callousness, the disregard, you see all of these things. And instead of understanding, because you have nothing, you have no type of tangible proof to give you any kind of understanding. If you knew then that the person you're dealing with, they walked up to you, and let's say this was like sometime in the future, like, like how those movies have it, where a label comes up and says narcissistic personality disorder, you're going to still deal with them? Oh, you got NPD? No, I'm good. First of all, we didn't even know what NPD was. A lot of us didn't know what NPD was. So if you didn't know what NPD was, but if someone came to you and had a label that said NPD on them, what's the first thing you do? You go to Google. What the hell is NPD? And how will this affect me? And then you learn about narcissistic personality disorder and you start to see every single thing. You see characteristics, you see the things they do, you see the things they say, the phrases, whatever. You see all of these things. You read up on that and then you say, oh, hell no, I'm not dealing with this person. That is too much drama for me, which is why they have to wear the false mask. You were in this relationship under the impression that this person was normal. This person was fine. And that was simply because they wore a mask when you decided to meet up with them, when you decided to interact with them. They wore this mask. They led you on. Let's call a spade a spade. They led you on. They had you believing that they wanted to have a relationship with you. They wanted something real with you. And the fact of the matter is that they have lacked something from the very beginning since they were a child. And at the end of the day, all they knew how to do was survive. That's all they knew. All they knew was how to survive. Whether it meant breaking people's hearts, stepping over people's toes, doing whatever it took to get what they want, doing whatever it took to get the opportunity. Hi, Raphael, sweetheart, Happy New Year. To get what they want, they did everything possible because their needs had to come first. Their needs had to be met first. Now, people often say, well, if that's the case, then why do all of this extra stuff? You get a lot more flies with honey than you do vinegar. You get a lot more flies with honey than you do vinegar. And at the end of the day, if they're sour to you, if they're mean, if they're nasty, if they're cruel to you, if they show a side of themselves that they know they wouldn't even like, they know for a fact that you will completely block them off and say, no, not happening. So they have to do it the other way. They got to come off nice. They got to come off as charmers. They got to come off as humble, sweet. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm vibing. I'm this, I'm that. They come off and you don't realize it. And I've even seen videos where people teach people how to mirror people. That to me is so, it's like, no. They have these like courses and stuff where they were like, oh, let me teach you how to mirror someone. But that is what they do. They mirror you when they're courting you. They're mirroring you because they want you to see in them pretty much what it is that you see within yourself. Because when you got into that relationship, guys, come on, you were not, maybe you had some insecurities, maybe you had some issues. Yeah, we all had them. But you were not miserable to the point of, I'm so damn miserable that I need to just step over people's toes and hurt them, and I need to manipulate people and lie to them. No. You're not miserable because you may have been unhappy in your life, but you're not to that point of where they were. And they wanted you to see an impression. They wanted you to see what you wanted to see, which is why they ask you questions. They want to know about your past. They want to know about the things that you've done. They may even try to throw in there certain things that, it has nothing to do with you, but they want to create this illusion for you to grab onto, for you to hold on to. So that way, because they know, listen, if you're on a dating website, 9 out of 10 times you're trying to date. Are you not? Like, you're trying to date. You're trying to see what can become. You're not trying to get married tomorrow, but you are trying to see what can become of a possible relationship. They know this. They know this. That's why they're on the dating site. You're on the dating site to meet someone that you can possibly have a relationship with. They're on a dating site to meet someone because they know, well, I can't sustain a relationship, but I'm going to sure enough give you the impression that I can. Or they may be on the dating sites for jump offs. They may be on the dating sites for, one night stands or doing whatever just to get what they want. But it just so happens you stuck. You became something that, hey, listen, I was looking for this, but I found this. I was looking for a dime, but I found a crisp $100 bill. You know what I'm saying? And this is, and throughout that whole entire time, you fell for it. And it's okay to admit that because we've all been there. You felt for this presentation that they gave to you. You fell for it. And it wasn't hard to fall for it because you were attracted to them. You felt comfortable around them. You felt almost damn near safe around them. You felt like you could talk to them all day, every day. You felt like, there were times that you could not, you didn't really want to even be away from them. You felt all of these different things. And again, this flowed for you naturally. This is something that came from you naturally. But this is stuff that they learned. They learned how to be this way. And it wasn't, effective. It wasn't something that comes naturally. It's something like, okay, I don't know how to start a relationship. I don't know how to be in a relationship. I don't know how to love someone. I don't know how to receive love. I don't know any of these things, but I want someone's attention. I want someone's affection. I want to be someone's, center of attention. I want to be the center of attention for someone. So I could be nasty to the person or I can be really sweet to the person. And over time, I could just, it's kind of like those familiar spirits. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Familiar spirits are spirits that have been with you since the day you were born, okay? And been with you throughout your entire life. And a familiar spirit over time just, learns your moods, that they can predict what you're going to do. They can predict where you're going to go and how you're going to feel. And so what they do is they pretty much familiarize themselves, these narcissistic people, they familiarize themselves with you, your behaviors, your mannerisms, how you dress, whatever the case may be, anything about you. They familiarize themselves and they mirror you. And you are so enamored, failing to realize that you're not enamored with the person that they are, but you are enamored with the person that they are posing to be, which is a reflection of, yes, you guessed it, you. You were in love with yourself. You were enamored with the person that they were mirroring, which was yourself. How many of you would be with someone if there was another you walking the face of this earth? If there was another you walking the face of this earth, would you date yourself? Would you date yourself? Would you be in love with yourself? Would you want to spend time with yourself? Would you want all of it? You would. And that's what you got. You got yourself. You got the mirror image of yourself. You were being affectionate, they were being affectionate. You were being kind, they were being kind. You were being giving, they were being giving. You were, going above and beyond, up and away. And what they were doing was mirroring what you were doing. And you thought that this was, oh my gosh, this is great. This person really cares about me. And, this person really loves me. And the fact of the matter is that they were pretty much projecting onto you what you were projecting on to them. The love bombs come after the devaluation, but that's the beginning stage, right? The projection of the mirror. Okay, so now you fell in love with them. You fell in love with who you thought they were when the reality was it was really you, just so you know. All right, so now that you know that, I want y'all to start putting some more love into yourself, because if that's what you project onto someone and they project that back onto you because that's a mirror of you, that love, man, you better love on yourself like you never loved on yourself before. Okay, after you do all that and you feel like you're on cloud nine, it's kind of, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like this. Going on a honeymoon, paying for everything, paying for the beautiful room, paying for the luxurious, beach, whatever, the whole island, paying for all of it, but being convinced that that person is the one who paid for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like them stealing your credit card out of your wallet and saying, we're going to the Bahamas. We're going to have a beautiful vacation. They take your credit card out of your wallet and they put it in their back pocket. And you go to the Bahamas and you have a beautiful honeymoon. And it's a beautiful white sandy beach and everything is great. Food is awesome. You're having the most amazing time. And you didn't even realize that you were the one who was paying for the bill. Where do I come up with these analogies? Is it narcissistic to not want to discuss why my marriage failed with my ex? If you want to keep your business to yourself, that's fine. I mean, I don't know the situation. I don't know what happened behind it, but you don't have to. You don't have to speak on it if you choose not to. No, not at all. Blanco, I've been through more shit than I care to think of, but at the end of the day, it's because of that and the fact that I can utilize what I've been through and actually create a platform to help other people through it. Hey, I'd rather utilize my pain and my trauma to help people than utilize it to manipulate and use people and hurt people. I'd rather use it the way I've always known how, with love. No, CT, I get it. And again, you don't have to, if you don't want to discuss it, or if you're not at the point in your life that you're ready to discuss it, you don't have to. You don't have to. You're not obligated to do anything that you don't want to do. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make sure I. Oh, Stella. You know how you already know you come prepared for that. I'm trying so hard because I don't want to mess up. Oh, wait, no. Why can't I? Oh, here we go. After 7 months, no contact, he reached out. After 7 months, no contact, he reaches out and no response from me. I think silence is golden. Isabel, it is absolutely golden. Absolutely golden. Golden. And that's what makes it, gold is so valuable now. It's just worth so much more now. And that's, it makes it worth it. It makes it. And often people will feel a sense of, if I do this, I'm betraying that person. This is what a trauma bond can do to you. A trauma bond can convince you that standing up for yourself and wanting to have your own peace and wanting to get on with your life, it can convince you that you're betraying the person who has the trauma bond with you. Believe that or not, people often end up going back, or they end up not speaking on it or saying anything because they're either, in hopes that they will get back with the person, or they will be betraying that person and they will lose any possible chance of anything reconnecting with that person. Listen, man, listen. I don't need relationships like that. I don't need relationships like that. And I have to consider my son. My son is my main priority. And I had to consider that the man I allow into my life is going to be in my child's life. And if a man can hurt me, a man can hurt my son. Doesn't have to be physically, but if they hurt me emotionally, psychologically, physically, if they manipulate me, they're taking advantage of me, they're taking me for granted, they're they're exerting their authority to maintain control of a situation or try to just keep me on my toes, that can have an effect in the child's life as well. No won't allow that to happen. Yes, Katie, on the bright side, narcs expose themselves over social media more than they would think. Narcissism is very rampant. It's been around for generations. I mean, since like they're talking about like since the Greek, what is it, like Greek mythology and all that stuff. It's been going on since way back when. Okay, prime example. Matter of fact, biblical times. Jezebel was a narcissist. I think she was more a sociopath. If I had to guess it, she was probably more a sociopath, but still manipulative, deceitful, greedy, wanting to control. She was controlling her husband, and she was controlling, her husband's. I mean, husband was king. He was king, but she was the one who had the control. She was the one who said who, what, where, when, how, and he just sat there like, yes, dear. Like that's how it was. To the point where she just went on a rampage. And I'll tell you right now, man, I gotta have as many people of this world hate me. As many people of this world hate me. The one person I would never want to have hate me is God. I would never want him to hate me. He hated her with the passion to the point that he could not. He just had to. He just had to. He had to take her out. He is like, I just got to take you out because this is just. I mean, she listen. She was messing with his boy Elijah. Elijah was like, listen, God, you're gonna have to hide me in the mountains because, this crazy ass chick is coming for me. She's trying to get my head on a platter, and I can't have that. You know, and I mean, listen, it's just it's been going on for so long, and people want to sit there and say, well, it's not a spiritual thing, it's a mental illness or whatever. Listen, you have your opinions, I have mine, and at the end of the day, Jezebel's spirit is real. Jezebel's spirit walks with a lot of people, men and women. You see it all the time outside. Look on your social media, look out your window, you see it everywhere. Okay, that spirit is very real, that spirit is very strong, and that spirit is very influential, extremely influential. So keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Narcissist in the river, yes. He was so enamored with himself. He was just so conceited. As you know, listen, you have people, first of all, if I walk by a mirror and I have to look in it, I got to make sure that, my eyebrows didn't come off. But people who walk by a mirror and just constantly have to look at themselves or constantly have to admire themselves or like, constantly have to groom themselves or whatever. That's how, the saying was, the narcissist was. He always constantly looked at himself to the point that he couldn't get over himself. He was looking in the river or a lake or whatever. He was looking at it. He was so enamored with his reflection. He ended up falling in and he ended up drowning. He ended up falling in and he ended up drowning. Vanity is not worth it. And if you're going to be vain, you better know how to swim. That's all I'm going to say. Hi, Morales. Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you. And guys, on my YouTube, I love you guys. Kara, Stella, Raphael, Butch, Official. I haven't forgotten you guys. I saw the names popping up. My good eye is just kind of damaged right now. Yeah, and you probably have narcissistic people around you. I mean, behaviors in itself. Listen, if there are people who are toxic, you know that they're toxic. It's up to you to decide if you want to be around them or if you don't. If you don't want to be around them, you don't have to be. You could set up boundaries, or you could just completely disconnect from them. There's no problem with that. But if you choose to be around them, just understand that knowing that they are toxic people, they will show behaviors to you, and it's going to present itself one way or another. So just keep that in mind. Narcs can also be traumatically bonded. In fact, I am convinced, and this is why I still have to do more research and why I'm going into my studies and why I'm looking to get my degree, because I really want to help make a breakthrough in the mental health. The mental health, listen, the mental health department, and it doesn't matter what state you're in, okay? It does not matter. It's failing a lot of people, man. Everywhere you go, mental health, it's failing people. Okay, we've had hospitals out here, psych wards that have been shut down. You have people that need mental health assistance, and it's just not being done. It's so much needs to be done, because there are so many that preventable situations that have happened, and that could have been prevented. And it's wanting to make a change has to start from somewhere. And if I can do it, then hey, I'm gonna do it. Okay. My last name ain't Freud, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Are there any psychologists, famous psychiatrists or psychologists name? I'm pretty sure named Sanchez. But hey, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna try my hardest to. But narcissists, and again, this is more so because I have to double check and verify. I believe narcissists suffer CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And this is a form of PTSD as a result of a long-term period of abuse, childhood into teenage years into adulthood. And I believe that if you notice the unnatural connections between, let's say, your narcissistic ex and someone, it could be their parent, it could be, their parent, it could be an ex, it could be anybody. There is an unnatural connection between them and someone else who is even more toxic or potentially, extremely toxic. They don't have to be a narcissist, but if they are, they are. And they are constantly reverting back to that toxic person or these toxic people or these toxic situations with these people. They can be traumatically bonded with another person. They could be traumatically bonded. They could be traumatically bonded with the person who's abused them. So let's say if their mom or their dad, and they were extremely abusive towards that person, but that person finds themselves unable to let go of that abusive parent. And you see that connection that is just unnaturally there. Like, it's just like, wait a minute, these people did this thing to you, and you are still putting them on a pedestal. You're still involving yourself with them. Or this ex did this thing to you, but you are still coming back and putting that person on a pedestal, to the point that maybe they even disrespected you for that person or these people. I believe so. And I believe that it's a bit hard, just like it was hard for us to break free from a trauma bond. It can be pretty hard for them too, since that's what they were conditioned to believe. That's what they grew up with, or that's what they've been surrounded by for so long. Yeah, I believe it, survivor. I believe it. Especially mothers who traumatically bond with their children. It's just so disheartening. It's really disheartening. But I think about it this way. Moms get, narcissists don't like to get old. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to be old and alone, So what if they're too busy running out, the significant others, whether it be their, girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever, they're going to attach themselves to their children. If people don't want to be a part of their lives because they're unbearable to be with as far as a relationship is concerned, they're going to attach to their own children, and they're going to make themselves the responsibility of their kids. What does it mean when a narc ex is blocking and unblocking even the that's to get your attention. That's to get your attention. That's to get you to respond. But think about it this way. Blocking or unblocking. Listen, I don't know if my ex blocks or unblocks and blocks. And I don't really think so, because I have that person blocked. But the better question is, how would the person know if that ex is blocking and then unblocking? They expect you to, which, listen, if you do go to check and see or whatever, we've all been there. I've been there. We've all been there. And at best I could tell you, stop it. Don't do it anymore. This is a way to kind of get your goat, is to get you to react. They'll block you, then unblock you. And it's a way to screw with your head too. Especially when they know that you're trying to move on and you're trying to heal. So if you go and they've unblocked you and you see something on their social media and it gets you, fired up or whatever, if you're going to react, then they're going to accuse you of stalking them. Even though they know they're doing it on purpose. I say, don't fall for it, and definitely my ex has transformed our son into a mini narc like her. And moms have a lot of higher influence. I mean, even though fathers are, more connected with their sons because, it's just that, like, inherent connection. Moms can be very influential, especially if they're very young, but because of the fact that the parents are a source of survival for the kids, oftentimes they feel like if they don't comply, or if they, don't go through with it, they're going to face repercussions, or, the parents going to, reprimand them or punish them or what have you. So just keep in mind that a lot of the time when children are put in this position, it's not because they want to be. It's not because they want to be. They're put into this position because it's like, damn, if I don't comply, I'm gonna get punished, or I'm gonna face, the lashings. I'm gonna face the scapegoating, and children are children. They don't know better. You know, they don't, even if they turn into narcissistic people and they turn into, or even narcissists, they don't know better from childhood up until, you know, I would say probably the ages of like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old. But they don't, you know, they don't realize that this, you know, mommy's a narc, mommy's a manipulator, mommy's this, mommy's that. They're sitting there thinking to themselves, I just need to do what she tells me to do, because if I don't, I'm gonna face repercussions. You know, our parents when we're kids are our form of survival. And she used that to her advantage. I am blocked and I regret it all for dragging. Let me go up a little bit. Yeah, no. It's the opposite. Katie says it's the opposite for me. I went no contact, was stalked and harassed, and I felt no way to escape. So I am blocked and I regret it, all for dragging me back to their cycle. Girl, let me tell you something. I blocked my ex the minute I decided that I was just going to walk away. And I went off the grid. I literally went offline. I deactivated all my social media. That was December of the year that the discard happened. When I came back, it was around, I think, April of that year, that next year, I came back. I didn't unblock, but I did. I don't know why, but I did go to the social media, and I didn't see really too much, like, as far as because this person was a pretty private person. So even if this person was with someone else, sleeping with someone else, doing whatever with someone else, you know, they wouldn't have, if they're not asked to put the photos up, they usually won't do it. But I did see that that person was heavily, prior to going, you know, no contact completely, I did see that person was heavily reinvesting in, with regards to reconnecting with their ex. But I did see, you know, I did see a few things, but it wasn't nothing like, but at that time when I did it, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't phasing me. It really wasn't. I was still healing. I was still going through what I need to go through, but being out of sight, out of mind really helps. Putting it out of your mind, putting it out of your sight, puts it out of your mind. It really helps. It really helps with you to kind of detach, just to at least detach from it. You don't have to, you know, oh my gosh, I'm 1,000% healed. No, you're just detaching from the situation. Out of sight, out of mind is for detachment. Okay. Remember that, guys. Out of sight, out of mind is for you to detach from the situation, detach from the person. I need the charger. It's for you to just detach. It's not to heal at that precise moment and say, okay, yeah, I'm over the person, everything is done. No, no, no. You got a ways to go. But you just need to detach from the situation first. Because when you detach from the situation, then your emotional feelings and everything start to retreat. Okay? How you envision the person, how you look like, you know, looked at the person, the regard, everything. It begins to retreat. So crap, it's on that side. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. But did you want to know about nursing? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I hit a button, Siri came on, and then boom. Um, Detach first, worry about everything else later. Detach first, worry about everything else later. Don't focus so much on, am I gonna get over things? Am I gonna heal? Am I gonna move on with my life? Am I gonna be happy? Whatever. Don't and I say that with, I'm sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix this. Like the fine time for my daggone my thing to break. Detaching first just allows you the chance to move back and say, okay, now I'm a little more logical. Now I can you know what? Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to multitask here. I really am. She's just laughing at me in the background.
I'm like trying to get myself together.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, detach first, worry about the rest later. Don't put your concern on healing. Don't put your concern on being in another relationship. Don't put any kind of concern into any of that. You need to release yourself emotionally from the situation. That way you can be logical about the situation and really understand what it is that you need to do. Okay? You can't heal in the place that is making you sick. It won't work. It's going to continue to eat at you. How do I get over the trauma bond and smear campaigns? The trauma bond takes time. The trauma bond does take time. Mahira, it does take time. You know, you have to recondition your mind. You have to reprogram your mind with the trauma bond. With the smear campaigns, if I can be frank, fuck them. Am I okay with saying that?
Too late now.
Screw them. Screw them. Screw their smear campaigns. Screw the people that they're talking to. Okay? Screw all of them. If the people who love you and the people who are there for you, your friends, your family, the people who know you, know everything about you, know what type of person you are, you have integrity, you are not the kind of person that this person is smearing you out to be, that's all that matters to you. Everybody else, give a shit what you think about me. Because when the opinions of other people start to pay your bills, when they start to pay your rent, when they help support your kids, when those opinions put money in your pocket, that's a different story because that's your bread and butter. But until then, no. Let them talk. Let them talk. You're still going to always be the discussion. You're always going to be the topic of discussion at that dinner table, at the bar, at a game, at the pool, at the beach. I mean, listen, your ear's probably going to be ringing all over the place. You probably think it's Christmas every day. Because that's all you're going to hear is ringing in your ear. Lose no sleep over it. I'm being honest with you. Lose absolutely no sleep over it. Okay? People are going to talk shit about you. That's how life is. That's how people are. They show who they are by the way they speak of other people. And at the end of the day, if they want to sit there and say, well, I was the victim, I was this, I was that, let me tell you something, okay? There were 4 people there at that time when it happened. You, that person, God himself, and the devil. Who do you think is going to really win in this game? To me, people talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. Exactly, Queen. Exactly. The truth always comes to light. Your truth is always going to come to light. God was there when that stuff was going on. He saw what happened. Okay? You know that saying. All the things that they were saying behind your back, all the things that they were doing behind your back, all the things that they thought they were getting away with, all the things that they were just, key, and ha, and yeah, we got over on them and everything. All of that, trust and believe, God saw it all. So take your worries, put it in his hands, because I guarantee you this much. His wrath will be a lot better than your revenge, and a lot greater too. A lot greater. There you go. F them. And that's exactly the way it is. Trust me. Stick around with me, guys. Anybody who's new here, I'm just to reiterate, lives will be every Friday, 8:15. I'm gonna put 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time. I will be here every Friday from now on with all the platforms until, of course, my schedule clears up. I got school 5 days a week, and that includes Saturdays, guys. Saturday mornings. But I wanted to be here tonight. I actually have to go to work tomorrow too, but I want to be here tonight for you guys. And, anyone who is new, please, if you haven't, definitely follow the platforms, follow the pages. I have amazing people in this circle, in this community. There's usually more people, but I haven't been able to log on to TikTok in a while. So it's going to take a while to rebuild up the audience, but that's fine. You guys are all that matter to me. Okay. The important people, the people who matter are here, and those who cannot make it, yes, you still matter too. But all that matters to me is it's not quantity, because I know eventually it's going to get to the people that need to hear it. Okay. It's quality, and it's the quality of the hearts of people who are here. So I thank you so very much for, just for being here. And if I'm unable to, I'm sorry, my eye is kind of throbbing. So I want to make sure I clean it out, because you see that, guys? You see that? But listen, I have one good eye on me, guys. If you guys don't know, for some of you who don't know, I only have one good eye. Okay. I am legally blind in my right eye, and I actually have cataract in my right eye. So yes, if you see my eye bouncing around the room, but I have another eye on you, that's the reason why. I don't hide nothing. Okay. I'm very transparent with everybody. That's just me. But I want you to know that I understand what you've gone through. I understand what you're going through. If I did not get a chance to answer your questions, or if I did not get a chance to respond to your comment, I hope, please don't take offense. I do try. But if you do need to reach out, if you need help, if you need someone to talk to, if you need advice, whatever the case may be, you can always email me, narcsurvival101@gmail.com. You can also check out the website, guys. I, again, made this website for you guys. I made it designed specifically for survivors and victims of narcissistic abuse. This is your safe haven. This is where you can come, you can be yourself, you can give your story, you can let me know what it was, how it was. You will always be safe. You will always be protected. Your information is always protected. And anything you share with me is strictly between you and me. Okay? Unless you give me authority to speak your story, or anything you send to me, you want me to share it on a live, please let me know. I would be more than glad to do it. Okay? This is for awareness. This is for people who have, if you guys haven't, I still have my domestic violence ribbon that I keep here. I keep this here all the time. Okay? This is my remembrance for people who have gone through domestic abuse, who have not made it out of domestically abusive situations. This is for narcissistic abuse. This is for people who have gone through it, who are going through it, and who did not manage to make it out of it, who unfortunately lost their lives as a result of it. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I want to advocate. I want to get this degree. I want to make this happen, because I'm going to be pushing. Once I get to that point, I will be pushing with legislators. I'll be pushing with laws, with regards to mental health, with regards to domestic violence. I mean, I need people's help, but if you're able to help me with this, we can definitely make a huge difference. We really, really can. And just thank you so much, guys. You guys have no idea how blessed I feel. I'm truly blessed. I'm truly honored to know all of you. I'm truly honored to be, a part of your life, a part of your journey. And I'm honored that you're a part of mine. And, you just really make all of this worth it. And believe it or not, I'm making this move to do this, to become a therapist, to become, a part of the mental health community, primarily because of the influence and just the inspiration that you guys have given to me. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm taking 6 classes. That's why I'm giving up my Saturday mornings to go to school. Okay? But I'm not giving up my coffee. Just saying. But I thank you so very much, guys. I really thank you so many much. Yeah, so many much. I need to, yeah. Yes, Stella, like Gabby Petito, you have so many people who have lost their lives as a result of this. And not just women, men too. There have been men who have been victims of domestic abuse and domestic violence and narcissistic abuse. And I advocate for them too. I advocate for them too. And as a mother, I want my son to know that my son is being taken care of by a woman who loves him just as much as I do. So I'm going to keep doing this, guys. I'm going to keep pushing. So if you're new, like I said, if you have not followed yet, please follow. Please send me a message. Please sign up at the website, narcsurvival101.com. And again, if you need me, if you need to talk, if you have an emergency that you need, just reach out to me. Call me. Well, I can't say call me, but email me. And we'll set something up. I'll try my best to set something up for you guys. All right, my loves, thank you so much. Maya, I hope I'm good. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. I am so glad you were here today, and I'm so glad you were about, you were interacting with us, and I'm so appreciative of that. And for anyone who was helping other people out, I saw that too, guys. I saw it too. Thank you so much. Thank you so. Mahira, well, you too. Thank you for being here. But Maya Nanti B, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad I could be here for you guys. I'm so glad I could be a part of this for you guys, because I know what it is to do it alone. I wouldn't want anyone to go through this alone, face it alone. And you don't have to. You don't have to. There are some good people out there, guys. There are some good people, and I hope that I can inspire you to understand that that is the case. We just have to use discernment better. That's it. That's it. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you. Hi, son. How are you? I hope you're well. Alma, thank you so much. God bless you. Katie, thank you. Thank you. You definitely, you brought it up in here, girl. Thank you. I'm just glad that I could be here, guys. So we are going to call this a night. Like again, if you need me, you guys have my info, my deets. You can hit me up anytime, and we could set something up. I'll try my best. I'll try my best. But other than that, guys, have a beautiful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a relaxing weekend. Okay? Anybody going through the motions? Listen, take the day off. Take the day off. Pamper yourself, love yourself, and just do something that makes yourself happy, okay? And always remember that the days get better. The days get better over time. I promise you, and I don't make promises I can't keep. I promise you they will get better. And if you don't feel them getting better, reach out to me. I will help you to see to it that it happens. All right? My lovely people, thank you again for being here tonight. Thank you for the love and support. I will see you guys back here next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully my getup will be much more doable, so I can, and I hope my eye gets better too. I only have one good eye. I can't lose that, because if I lose that, then I'm done. Thank you again, guys. Love you all. Have a beautiful night, beautiful weekend. Love, peace, God's blessings, protection, all that good stuff. You already know how I do it. And I will see you all next week on Friday. Good night, guys. Bye.